I don't know about you, but I'm on the edge of my seat watching ADA right now, watching crypto markets. The question, are we gonna get continued higher highs, higher lows? This is a 6-hour chart for ADA. You know, we've been in an uptrend. You can just see it right here. But we've seen a lot of volatility along the way. Something I want to talk about this video, but it's going to be a gem-packed video. We're going to talk about the volatility involved here, but more importantly, I'm going to zoom out and show you just such a valuable picture. I think it's probably one of the most important things that we could possibly discuss. If I could, I would discuss it in the beginning of every video, but it is one of the most important things, I think, for people that are in crypto and ADA holders, accumulators, everybody gonna talk about that. The other thing we're gonna talk about is this. This was the inverse head and shoulders that I actually tweeted about yesterday. And I was just reevaluating this on the charts, and I was seeing some things and started questioning myself whether or not I charted it correctly. And I really want to break down slowly, kind of go through, without any hype going on right now, and break down what I see happening here, and I want to talk about that. Talk about the target for that. But let's step back to that first topic. It's the volatility of where we are right now. And I just want to bring up for you, this is what we're looking at in the last bull market. And when I say bull market, what I really mean is this was actually December right here. And right before this was November 2020. This is when Bitcoin gave us that huge macro signal, the bull market doors being broken. I've just, before I started recording, I plotted certain things on the chart, and that is what these dips looked like. I want to be very clear. A bullish environment. This was the beginning of the bull market. Things were getting ready to go crazy. Look at this, 36, 37% 2-day dip. Do you see this? Look at this daily red candle. 21% dip right here, like a week later. And then you keep going. We have a dip right here, or at least a very indecisive candle, a 21% indecisive candle. Imagine that day alone, just a 21% swing. Imagine that an ending in the middle. Here's another 21%. I zoom out and we can kind of cruise up further into this continuation. So all of those insane bear moves, and then we actually continued up, right? And cardano ADA hitting 25, 30 cents, 40 cents. But look at this, 31% dip, 34% dip, 28% dip. And then what happened? Even after all those dips, it continues to the upside. I want to note something, that's the bull market, right? This is a bull environment. The thing I'm trying to make clear is even in bull environments, there's gonna be a ton of volatility and a ton of fear, and it's very fast. It really is like a roller coaster ride. If you could put it any other way, that is the way to put it. Now, if we go to actually, when cardano is exiting the last bear market, maybe since I wouldn't say we're in a bull market today, maybe this is an area where we could kind of just find some more similarities with ADA. We'll check it out. 24% dip. 19 to 20% dip, 13% dip, 10% dip, right? So these dips happen. Now, the thing that I want to know on both of these areas of the chart, whether it's a bull market or just ADA exiting, is the moving averages. It's this, no matter when a dip is happening or how harsh it is, what is happening at the moving averages? Is there support? And you can see support there. And you can even go in the bull market where we're evaluating these huge dips, and you see these higher, low, higher, high moves, ADA testing support and just maintaining above these moving averages. Now as we go to the current daily chart, so the reason why I'm bringing all that up is just because look at the red candle that we just had on A. We're looking at, if we measure that candle, an 8% candle, and it in the middle of it during the day when it's happening, especially, it's pretty drastic. It feels like, oh, here we go. But we have to take into account, at least I do, and this is just my approach, just that reminder that these red candles, they're going to be here. Even if we just start heading towards $1, we're gonna have crazy days where it looks like it's plummeting back to zero. It's gonna. They're made of these red candles. That is not to say that support won't fail. But that's where we are right now, and that's, as I do the video, what we're tracking. So we have the red candle, right? We have volatility, and we just had volatility back here beginning of February, right? Look at that dip for ADA. It didn't mean that we weren't about to put in new highs. There's a 10, 11% dip. It didn't mean we weren't about to make a reversal here, which we did. And here's another one. Moving averages right below where ADA is a 20-day, the 200-day. And look, actually what just happened. I didn't even notice this until I started recording. Look at that 20-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average. You see that green line crossing above the red line. Everybody, that is a huge indicator. We've had the 20-day crossing above the 50-day. We go back. We were just discussing this last exit right of the last bull market. Look, this is the move we want. We want the green line, the 20-day crossing above the 50 in blue and the 200 in red. These are the signals from a macro perspective. Talk about that macro shift, the pivot point into bull market, into bull cycle. These are the things we want to happen. That signal just happened. I didn't even realize it. But that's actually pretty exciting that I just realized that as I'm recording. So back to my point, these moving averages, will they hold support now? ADA, it had some nice separation for a minute, 8% separation. And look, it resets. We are back to critical support as this move is happening. So the next thing that we look for is another really critical area of support. It's this 50-day moving average. You know what's, and there's other moving parts. What is the stock market doing tomorrow? What is the US dollar currency index? All of these things matter for what happens next on this chart, but we latch onto the consistent data that we've had throughout all of these years in ADA because it is consistent. And so what we look for is what happens at the 50-day if there is a big move to the downside. It's something we're evaluating. We're about to look at what the move looks like to the upside, a potential breakout, a potential 60% plus target. I want to talk about that, but I just want to be ADA trying to escape this lower high area that we've been tracking swing high to the swing low back to this feast channel. And ADA's just still in it, right? It failed to get any clear separation and consistent separation from that area, and we're just right back below 40 cents again. And it's been the story here, right above or right around the 786 line at the top of the channel. So the resistance is there, but just one thing I need to remind myself of. Red candles are normal. Just zoom out on that for a second and see what's happening at key support areas, and we're gonna continue watching those areas. To the downside, we've talked about it. Just remember we did have the breakout of this huge falling wedge. If markets capitulate, and it's possible if it happens, put aside the moving averages in the very short term. Put aside that what is ADA gonna do if it trickles down to just this this higher low area. So swing low to swing high to a higher low area, confluent with the apex really of this falling wedge that's in play. It's something it's always in the back of my mind. Not gonna harp on it in all my videos, but it's something we should evaluate. But at the very least, looking for continuation right now. Continuation would be supported. All of these moving averages, even the 50-day down here. So let's watch that. Let's go over to let's stay on the daily zoom out because I want to recharge this. This was the tweet from yesterday. The inverse head and shoulders want to discuss it. 65-cent target, which still is the case. But so if we zoom out now on this daily chart, and let me just remove this VSI and this right here. So here's where my dilemma is with that pattern. And please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It means a lot. Let's pull out the head and shoulders and let's chart it. When I charted it yesterday, I basically, I kind of took it like right here or so, left shoulder, right head. Put it right around there and I created a right shoulder here. So that's pretty much what I did. Now we can bring this up and just put it there. So the left shoulder is clear to me. However you want to chart the left shoulder, it's clear to me, and for me, this is the story of the bears, right? The left shoulder bears, bulls stepping into the neckline, bears stepping into this new lower low bull, stepping in back to a neckline. And then bears stepping into another swing low, a higher low, and it's a right shoulder setup, right? So speculatively, it's basically what I was saying for that head and shoulders in that tweet. But when I was reevaluating this, I really kind of was like, well, wait a second, because right now this red candle is back within this neckline, and we can still call this a right shoulder, but the setup is not as clean. It's not as, and the neckline seems like it would be more in this area up here, right? So if we pull this neckline up, and let me actually pull the neckline up, and then we bring this back down to be more of like a straight neckline. Here's a nice clean resistance right here. So now we have a more of a straight neckline. Then we start having something else happening, which is this: the right shoulder is not formed, right? And this is just something I wanted to talk about because it's something I'm personally evaluating. It might be boring to you, but this is what I'm evaluating. So if the right shoulder is not formed, that means we would be in a situation where, like this, the right shoulder setup is almost there. This neckline was just touched and you see more of like kind of a clean resistance area at this 40 to 42 cent area. And then we're coming back down potentially to form the right shoulder, right? So this is something that I'm very much watching, and I am having trouble charting it. And sometimes that is truly the case with these setups, and it's why I wanted to do this. It's not always so cut in. For me, if we just get rid of the head and shoulders, the inverse head and shoulders, it really is though looking like the story of bear versus bull. And that's what a head and shoulders is, or an inverse head and shoulders. It's a bear versus bull scenario, so that could be a right shoulder, or the right shoulder might not be set up yet. We might actually come down, maybe we come test this moving average, and then we're coming up to put in a more clean right shoulder, right? So the setup is there. The story is there. I'm really having trouble charting it properly because it's just, the way this chart is kind of coming into fruition as opposed to just having this downward sloping neckline, or however you want to chart it. I think it might make more sense to make it more. And if that's the case, then the right shoulder really not set up right now unless you want to call this just a revisit to the neckline and this the right shoulder. But those are my thoughts, everybody. I just wanted to break it down. It's probably extremely boring for you, but it's what I'm watching. Now, notice the breakout target where, however you want to chart it, whether it's in play or not, the head and shoulders is right around 65 cents to the upside. So if crypto continues to move to the upside, we're gonna just continue monitoring that. I think the story is there. That illustrates the inverse head and shoulders. And I do think a 65-cent target is definite. Very much in play, especially because this falling wedge that we have back here, I believe had around a 60-cent target. So 60-cent target, 65-cent target to the upside, both in play for ADA. If this run continues, kind of interested to see what this chart does. This is the US dollar currency index. At resistance, lower high resistance. If this thing would fall, would plummet, crypto might get a continuation of the bulls, and that is what we'll see play out on this very messy chart that I have here for you. Let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts below. I appreciate each and every one of you just hanging out with me. Everybody hit that subscribe and like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless video. God bless video.